Logan Reed pushed the garage door open with so much force that the metal rattled. The cold air of the early morning hit his face, but what froze his blood wasn't the weather. It was the look on Cole Hunter's face. The president of the Racers Club stood in the middle of the garage with his phone pressed to his ear, eyes wide, voice breaking. "Haley isn't answering," Cole shouted, throwing the phone onto a table full of tools. She was supposed to be home at 11. "It's 2 in the morning. Engines were still warm. Cars sat parked in crooked lines from the night's races. The fluorescent lights buzzed overhead. But no one cared about any of that. The only thing that mattered was that Haley Hunter, Cole's daughter, and the heart of the entire group, was missing. Logan felt his chest tighten. Where was she last seen? Cole pointed at the phone as if it betrayed him. She left campus after a volunteer meeting. She texted she was stopping at the old highway exit, said she wanted to check something. That was the last time she used her phone. Rafa, Mason, and Tasha were already gathered around the surveillance monitors, trying to trace traffic cameras. The club wasn't perfect, but they were family, and Haley was part of that family. "Let's go," Logan said. "Show me the location." Cole grabbed his jacket and keys without a word and followed Logan out of the garage. The others split into cars, engines roaring as they sped out into the night. When they reached the exit, Logan's stomach dropped. Haley's car sat sideways near the guardrail, driver's door open. Her bag was on the asphalt. Her phone lay face down, the screen shattered. Cole froze. "Oh God." "Haley." Logan stepped forward first, scanning the scene. No blood. That was something. But the signs of struggle were clear. Scraped pavement, a heel mark, skid marks from another vehicle. "She didn't leave willingly," Logan said, kneeling next to her phone. "Whoever took her came prepared." Tasha's voice came through Logan's radio earpiece. "I'm pulling footage from the traffic cams near the intersection. Hold on." Cole was breathing fast, leaning against the guardrail. He wasn't just a president now, he was a desperate father. "We're going to find her," Logan said firmly. "You don't know that," Cole snapped, but there was fear behind his anger, not doubt in Logan. "If something happens to my daughter," Logan stood and looked him directly in the eyes. "Nothing will happen to Haley, not while I'm alive." Before Cole could respond, sirens flashed from the distance. A patrol car arrived. Officers stepped out, slow and relaxed as if this were just another night. Cole clenched his fists. They don't understand how serious this is. Logan took a breath and forced himself to stay calm. "Let me talk to them." But it was pointless. The officers repeated the same procedure. Questions, notes, promises to open a report. Cole grew more furious with every response. "She's been missing for hours," Cole shouted. "My daughter was taken." "We can't confirm a kidnapping yet," the officer said, raising his hands. "Her car is here, her phone is smashed. Does that look like she left on her own?" "We'll investigate. For now, go home and wait for updates." Cole nearly lunged at the officer, but Logan pulled him back. "Cole, we don't have time for this," Logan said quietly. "Let's do it our way." Cole's breathing steadied, just enough. Logan turned to the others. "Search the area. Look for tire patterns, footprints, anything." While Rafa and Mason swept the ground with flashlights, Logan stepped away from the group, trying to retrace Haley's steps. She had come here for a reason. What was she checking? Why did she stop? Then, a memory hit him. Just hours earlier, she had walked into the garage with a bright smile, waving a stack of papers. "I'm going to help with the youth recovery program again," she said, sitting on the hood of Logan's car. "Some kids I met are disappearing. I want to figure out what's happening." Logan frowned. "You should let someone go with you." She laughed. "You sound just like my dad. I'll be fine." Haley had always been bold, brave, maybe too brave. Back in the present, Logan gritted his teeth. She had been looking into disappearances. Had someone noticed? Suddenly, Tasha's voice returned through the radio. "Logan, I've got something." A camera caught her car slowing down. A dark SUV followed her. Plate is unreadable. "Send the footage," he said. Seconds later, his phone buzzed. The grainy video showed Haley's car. Then a black SUV stopping behind her. Logan's blood went cold. "This wasn't random," he whispered. "We found something," Mason shouted from near the trees. Logan ran over. Mason held up a thin gold bracelet, Haley's. The clasp was broken. Cole took it with shaking hands. "They took my daughter." Before Logan could speak, a beep sounded. His phone lit up, a new message, from Haley's number. Cole saw the screen and grabbed Logan's arm. "Open it." Logan pressed play. A shaky, dimly lit video filled the screen. Haley sat on a concrete floor, hands tied in front of her. Her hair was messy, her breathing fast, her eyes terrified but fighting to stay focused. A distorted voice came from behind the camera. "Stay away from our streets, the syndicate takes what it wants." Cole staggered back. No. Logan clenched the phone so tightly his knuckles turned white. The syndicate wasn't a rumor anymore. They had Haley, and they wanted everyone to know it. The video ended. Silence fell among them. Then Logan lifted his head, jaw tight, eyes determined. "They made a mistake," he said. "They think we're going to back off." Cole looked at him, tears in his eyes. "What do we do now?" Logan stepped closer, voice steady and cold. "We go after them." He put the phone in his pocket. "And we don't stop until Haley is home." But before Cole could speak, Logan's phone buzzed again. Another message, from an unknown number. When Logan opened it, his breath caught. It was a photo, taken minutes earlier, of a man wearing a jacket Logan recognized, a jacket from inside their own garage. Someone close to them had helped take Haley. Logan froze, staring at the image, heart pounding. He whispered the words no one wanted to hear. This wasn't just the syndicate. Someone from inside helped them. The garage was silent when they returned, but it wasn't a peaceful silence. It was the kind that comes before something explodes. Logan walked in first, gripping his phone. Cole followed, every step heavy. The others entered behind them, whispering among themselves, trying to understand who could have betrayed them. Logan placed the phone on the central workbench. "Everyone, listen." Rafa, Mason, Tasha, and the rest of the racers formed a circle. The smell of gasoline and metal filled the air. Engines cooled in the background. The tension was so thick it felt like the entire building held its breath. Logan turned the screen toward them. A photo of a man wearing a jacket they all recognized. Black leather, custom patches, the racer's logo embroidered by hand. Jax's jacket. The room erupted. "No way," Mason shouted. "He wouldn't," Rafa yelled. "Where is he?" Tasha demanded. Cole slammed his fist on the table. "Someone better start talking." Logan raised a hand. "Calm down. We're not accusing him yet. We need proof." "Proof?" Cole snapped. "My daughter is out there tied to a chair. And one of us helped." Logan met Cole's eyes. "And that's exactly why we need to think. If we jump on the wrong person, we lose time we don't have." Cole paced like a trapped animal. The racers exchanged nervous looks. The trust they had built for years was suddenly shaky. "We start with the basics," Logan said. "Jax hasn't shown up tonight, his phone hasn't been active, his bike is gone. But last week he had that argument with Damon's guys at the West Track." Rafa nodded slowly. "Yeah, and he's been acting weird lately." Tasha crossed her arms. "But weird doesn't mean traitor." Cole stopped pacing. "Then let's find him. Tonight." They split into two teams. Logan, Cole, and Rafa took one car. Tasha, Mason, and two others took another. The city lights blurred as they sped through the streets. Logan drove, eyes sharp on the road. Cole tapped his fingers on the dashboard, unable to sit still. Rafa monitored the police radio. "He lives near the industrial zone," Rafa said. "If he's hiding something, it's there." Cole let out a frustrated exhale. "When I find him, he better have answers." Logan kept his voice steady. "We're not going in to fight. We're going in to find out if he's involved." Cole stared out the window, jaw clenched. "If he hurt Haley..." Logan didn't respond. He didn't need to. His grip tightened on the wheel. If Jax betrayed them, Logan would deal with it personally. They turned down a narrow street leading to an old warehouse converted into apartments. Logan slowed to a stop. There. He pointed. Jax's motorcycle was parked crookedly, as if left in a hurry. Cole's face hardened. Let's go. They climbed the metal stairs and reached Jax's door. Logan knocked. Silence. He knocked again, louder. Jax, open up. Still nothing. Rafa frowned. You sure he's in there? Logan pressed his ear to the door. Something was off. Step back. Cole hesitated, then moved aside. Logan kicked the door hard. The lock snapped and the door swung open. The apartment inside was a mess. Papers everywhere, drawers open, clothes on the floor, lights off. Someone was here, Logan said. Recently. Rafa checked the windows. No sign of him, no blood. But someone searched the place. Cole opened a desk drawer. Inside was a piece of paper, crumpled. He picked it up and unfolded it. A symbol was drawn in thick black ink, a circle with a slash. Rafa sucked in a breath. That's the syndicate's mark. Cole stared at it. So he was working with them. Or running from them, Logan said. We don't know yet. Before they could search further, a scream echoed from the street. They all rushed to the balcony. Down below, a young woman was being pulled into a truck by two men. She clawed at the doorframe, trying to escape. Logan didn't hesitate. Go! He sprinted down the stairs, Cole and Rafa close behind. The truck's engine roared, preparing to take off. The woman tried to jump out, but one of the men pushed her back inside. Let go of her, Logan shouted. The truck peeled away, tires screeching. Logan jumped into his car before the driver door even closed. Cole and Rafa piled in. Logan slammed the accelerator, the tires burning rubber. The chase was on. The truck sped through the industrial zone, weaving between abandoned factories and dim streetlights. Logan pushed the car hard, engine screaming. Cut them off by 5th Street, Rafa yelled. Logan took a sharp turn, drifting slightly, keeping control. The truck tried to shake them, turning down a narrow alley. They're boxed in, Cole said. Dead end ahead. The truck reached the end of the alley and braked hard. The men jumped out, trying to flee on foot. Cole leaped out of the car. Logan, grab the one on the left. Logan sprinted after him. The man ran fast, but Logan was faster. He tackled him to the ground and pinned him. Who are you working for? Logan demanded. The man struggled. I don't know anything. Cole grabbed the second man by the collar and slammed him against the truck. Start talking. We were just picking up someone who owed money, the man shouted. We're not syndicate. Rafa opened the truck door and helped the woman out. She was shaking. Thank you. Thank you so much. Logan let out a breath. Not syndicate. Just criminals preying on the vulnerable. He turned to the woman. You're safe now. Do you know anyone from the syndicate? She shook her head. No, but I heard someone mention them tonight, at the warehouse by the overpass. They said a girl asked too many questions, that they took her to shut her up. Logan froze. Haley. Cole looked like he was about to collapse. Where exactly? Logan asked. She pointed with trembling hands. The warehouse with the blue gate. They bring people there. Logan nodded. Thank you. Rafa called the police anonymously from a burner phone, making sure the woman would be safe. The racers regrouped at the car. Cole sat heavily in the passenger seat. She was investigating disappearances. How deep was she in? Deep enough that the syndicate noticed, Logan said. And deep enough that they wanted her silenced. Cole wiped his face. Why didn't she tell me? Because she didn't want you carrying the weight alone, Logan answered. She wanted to fix what she thought was her fault. Cole looked away, eyes glossy. Rafa cleared his throat. We need to check that warehouse. Logan nodded, but something nagged at him. Where was Jax? Why was his jacket in the photo? Why had his apartment been trashed? Logan pulled out his phone and rewound the traffic footage Tasha had sent earlier. The SUV that followed Haley. Someone was sitting in the passenger seat wearing Jax's jacket, but the face was blurred. Rafa leaned closer. Could be him. Logan stared at the image. Something felt wrong. Jax never drives with his zipper closed, Logan murmured. And the patch placement is off. The jacket in the photo? It looks like his, but the stitching is different. Cole frowned. You think someone wore a copy? Maybe. Or Jax was forced into something. Before they could discuss further, Logan's phone buzzed. A call from Detective Elena Ward. He answered immediately. Detective? Her voice was tense. Logan, I need you at the station. Now, it's about Haley. Cole stiffened. What about my daughter? Elena hesitated. She came to see me before she disappeared, and she left something important behind. Logan's heart pounded. What did she leave? A notebook, Elena said, with names, locations, and notes on the syndicate's operations. Haley wasn't just in danger. She paused. She was close to exposing something big. Cole swallowed hard. Tell me she's alive. Elena's silence lasted half a second too long. She is, but if you don't act fast, that won't stay true. The call ended. Logan lowered the phone slowly, his blood turning cold. Haley hadn't been taken by accident. She had been targeted, and whatever she discovered was dangerous enough that the syndicate wanted her gone. We need that notebook, Logan said. Now. But before they left, Mason's voice came through the radio, panicked. Logan, Tasha just finished analyzing the footage. Logan froze. And? There was someone else in the SUV, someone we didn't notice. Who? Mason's voice cracked. It was someone from the garage. Someone we trusted. Logan's stomach dropped. Who, Mason? Mason hesitated, then said the name. For a moment, no one in the garage spoke. Only Mason's voice came through the speaker, shaky and thin. It's Nate. Logan stared at the radio like he had misheard. Cole frowned, trying to place the name with the face. Rafa was the first to react. Nate? The guy from the front office? A quiet, blonde guy who handled parts orders, paperwork, vendors, tow truck calls. Always there, always helpful, never loud. The kind of person everyone trusted because he never caused trouble. Cole shook his head slowly. There's no way. He's been with us for years. Mason continued, voice heavy. I enhanced the reflection in the SUV's side mirror. It's his face. And in another camera angle, I caught him at a gas station minutes before Haley's car stopped. He paid cash, no plate on the SUV. He knew exactly what he was doing. Silence swallowed the room. Logan's jaw tightened. Where is he now? Tasha cut in. He's not at his apartment. I checked the GPS on the shop's tow truck. He took it out tonight without logging it. Cole slammed his fist against the workbench. Tools rattled. He used my garage to grab my daughter? Logan looked at him. We don't know if he did the taking himself, but he's involved. That's enough. Rafa grabbed his keys. Let's hunt him down. Logan walked around the table and picked up his jacket. His voice was calm, but there was steel in it. We don't storm blind. We need a lead. Mason chimed in again. The tow truck pinged last near the East Side underpass, close to the old warehouse district. Tasha added, same sector where that woman said she heard about a girl asking too many questions. Logan nodded once. Then that's where we start. The night air felt colder than before as they rolled out again. Streetlights passed like rows of pale eyes watching them from above. Logan drove, with Cole in the passenger seat and Rafa behind them on his bike. The rest of the crew followed in 2 more cars, engines humming low, headlights cutting through the darkness. Cole held onto the dashboard, eyes sharp but distant. Nate, of all people, why would he sell us out? Rafa answered through the radio. Everyone has debts, or secrets. Logan stayed focused on the road. We'll ask him ourselves. They turned off the main road and slid into the forgotten parts of the city, where abandoned warehouses leaned against each other and graffiti covered broken walls. The highway rumbled overhead. There, Logan pointed. The racer's tow truck sat parked near a chain-link fence, half hidden under a broken streetlight. Its hazard lights were off. No one in sight. They stopped a distance away. Logan killed the engine. We go on foot from here. They spread out, quiet, alert, every sound amplified in the dark. A dog barked somewhere far off. A train horn echoed from the direction of the tracks. Logan's boots crunched softly on gravel. Cole whispered, "You see anything?" "Not yet," Logan replied. Rafa checked the truck first. Empty. Keys gone. No sign of Nate inside. "Look." Tasha pointed to the ground near the back of the truck. Fresh footprints in the dust heading toward a nearby warehouse with a rusted side door. "Stay together," Logan said. They approached carefully. The warehouse windows were mostly broken, but a faint glow bled out from one of them. Voices drifted through the air, low, nervous. Logan motioned for silence and peeked through a crack. Inside, Nate stood near a stack of crates, pacing like a trapped animal. He held a cheap phone in one hand and a folded envelope in the other. His shoulders were tense, his eyes darting toward the door every few seconds. He wasn't alone. A lanky man with a syndicate tattoo on his neck leaned against a pillar, watching him. "You got your money," the tattooed man said. "And you got to keep your shop job. You should be happy." Nate shook his head. "You said no one would get hurt. You said she'd just be scared, that's all. She's the president's daughter. They'll kill me if they find out." The man laughed. "If you walk away now, the syndicate kills you first. You're already in this, friend." Logan's hands curled into fists. He stepped back from the window and whispered, "He's working with them, but he's scared." Cole's face hardened. "He handed my daughter to the syndicate." Rafa whispered, "We can go in fast, take them both, make him talk." Logan shook his head. "No guns, no chaos. If the syndicate guy escapes, Nate shuts down. We need them both. We go in clean, fast, and controlled." Cole's voice was low but deadly. "If he refuses to talk, I swear—" Logan cut him off. "If you lose control, we lose Haley. Hold it together. For her." For a moment, Cole didn't move. Then he nodded, swallowing rage. Logan signaled the others into position. 2 by the back, 2 by the side entrance. He took the front with Cole and Rafa. He counted silently. 1, 2, 3. He kicked the door in. Everything inside froze. The syndicate man went for his waistband. Rafa moved first, tackling him into the crates. Wood splintered, boxes crashing to the floor. Nate stumbled backward, eyes huge, the envelope slipping from his fingers. "Don't move," Cole shouted, rushing forward. Nate raised his hands. I can explain." Logan grabbed him by the collar, pinning him against the wall. "Where is Haley?" Nate choked. "I don't know." Logan tightened his grip. "Try again." Rafa wrestled with the syndicate guy, both of them trading blows. The man swung a metal bar, grazing Rafa's shoulder before Tasha appeared from the side and cracked a wrench across his arm, sending the bar flying. Cole stepped in front of Nate, eyes burning. "You planned this. You helped them stalk my daughter. You watched us race with you, eat with you, trust you." "I didn't have a choice," Nate cried. "They had my brother." Logan hesitated. "Your brother?" he asked. Nate nodded desperately. "He got mixed up with them, with the syndicate. Drugs, debt, everything. They came to me. They knew where I worked, who I worked for. They said if I didn't help, my brother would disappear. They showed me photos. They let me hear him scream on the phone." He started shaking. "I was supposed to give them routes, race schedules, where the club would be. Then they heard about Haley. They knew she was asking questions about missing kids. They wanted her out of the way, not dead, just controlled. I swear that's what they told me." Cole's voice was ice. "And you believed them?" I thought if I warned her, it would be too obvious," Nate said, breathing fast. "I kept hoping they'd back off. Then they told me to wear my jacket and get into the SUV so it would look like it was us, like it was an internal problem. A message for you." Logan processed fast. So someone else was calling the shots from inside the SUV. Nate nodded violently. I never saw his face. He wore a cap, dark glasses. He didn't talk much, only gave orders. But I recognized the place where they took her from, an old lot near the river. Rafa dragged the syndicate thug over, bruised and handcuffed with plastic ties. This one's not waking up soon. Logan looked back at Nate. You're going to tell us everything. Every location you heard, every name, every time they called you. Nate swallowed. There's more. They told me something about your president. Cole stepped closer. What about me? They said the Racers Club owes more than it thinks, Nate said. They said the syndicate built half of this city's racing scene, that someone in this garage took money from them a long time ago. Cole's face went pale. Logan looked from Nate to Cole. Is that true? Cole didn't answer. Nate looked down. All I know is they kept saying the same thing. Old debts are coming due. And that Haley was the easiest way to get your attention. Sirens wailed in the distance, far away but approaching. Tasha's eyes widened. We have to move. Cops are going to sweep this area because of the fight noises. Logan made a decision. We're not handing Nate to them. If the syndicate has people inside the system, he's dead in a day. He talks to us first. Rafa frowned. And this guy? He nudged the syndicate man with his boot. Logan stared at the unconscious thug. We leave him tied. Police can find him with the warehouse. Maybe he leads them to other operations. Cole grabbed Nate by the arm. You're not going anywhere. You'll stay in the garage, under watch, until we're done. If you lie, even Umavez, Logan cut in again, firm. We use him, then we decide what happens. They slipped out before the sirens arrived. As they drove away, Logan glanced into the rearview mirror. Nate sat in the back seat, hands bound, staring at his knees, shaking. Why didn't you come to us? Logan asked. Nate's voice cracked. Because I saw what you did to people who hurt your family, and I thought you'd kill me before hearing why I did it. Cole's voice was low. You're right about one thing. It's only because of Haley that you're still breathing. Back at the garage, they locked Nate in a small storage room, hands still tied, chair bolted to the floor. Tasha set up a camera inside, connected to a monitor outside, keeping eyes on him. Mason sat at his station, multiple screens glowing. I can go through Nate's phone, calls, messages, hidden apps. Do it, Logan said. Start from the first contact with the syndicate. Cole paced again, more slowly now. The word Nate had used played over and over in Logan's mind. Debts, old debts. He watched Cole's face as that word hung in the air. Is there anything you want to tell us? Logan asked quietly. Cole stopped moving but didn't turn. Now is not the time. Logan didn't push further. Not yet. Mason cleared his throat. I've got something. Everyone gathered around his monitor. This is the call log from Haley's last day, Mason said. We know about the final calls to the youth center and to campus. But there's something else. He tapped the screen. A call placed from her phone, after the time we know she was taken. Logan frowned. That doesn't make sense. She was already in their hands. Exactly, Mason said. The call lasted 10 seconds, no answer, but it still pinged a tower. Who did they call? Rafa asked. Mason zoomed in on the number. At first I thought it was just some random contact, but then I traced it. It's registered to a company. Cole stiffened before Mason even finished. To a small logistics and auto import company downtown, Mason said slowly. Registered 15 years ago. He paused, then looked at Cole. In your name. Everyone turned to Cole. The room seemed to shrink. The sound of the buzzing lights grew louder. Logan felt his heartbeat in his eardrums. Cole's face hardened, but his eyes betrayed something else. Fear. Not of them, but of something coming back to the surface. That number's from an old line, Cole said. One I haven't used in years. But the syndicate has it, Logan said, keeping his voice level. And when they grabbed Haley, they used her phone to call it. Rafa stepped back. You mean they called you? No, Mason said. The line is still active as a business number, routed through a separate system. We don't know who picked up on the other end or if anyone did, but they wanted that number dialed. Tasha crossed her arms. Why would they call a company that used to belong to you, Cole? Cole finally turned to face them. There was a weight in his stare that hadn't been there before. Because, he said slowly, that company was my first mistake. Logan studied him. You're going to have to explain that. Cole let out a long breath like someone opening a door they had kept locked for too long. That company was how I first got into big money, he said. Before the garage, before the racers as you know them, we imported parts and other things. Things I thought were legal. I looked the other way because the money was good. I was stupid. He looked at the floor. And the people behind it? Logan asked. Cole lifted his head. Damon Cross. And the syndicate. The words fell like a hammer. Mason whispered. So Haley got taken because of something you were part of. Cole shook his head sharply. I never knew they'd go this far. I cut ties years ago. I built the racers to be something clean. I tried to fix what I broke. But you never told her, Logan said. Cole's jaw clenched. How could I? Logan stepped closer. Then she found out on her own. She started connecting missing kids, youth centers, this company in your name. She realized you weren't just a victim of the syndicate. You were part of the chain. Cole went silent. No denial, no excuses. Rafa looked around unsettled. So what now? We're fighting people who once paid for our engines? No, Logan said. We're fighting people who think they still own you, and they are using Haley to remind you of that. Cole's eyes filled with a mix of guilt and fury. I won't let them win. Not again. Logan nodded. Then we use what we have. Haley's notebook with Elena, Nate's testimony, the call records, and your past. Because like it or not, you know how they work. Tasha looked from one to the other. What about Haley right now? Every minute we talk, she's still in their hands. Logan turned back to Mason. Can you trace where that last call bounced? Even if no one answered, it still hit a certain tower. Mason cracked his knuckles. Already working on it. Lines of code and maps filled the screens. Everyone watched in tense silence. After a minute that felt like an hour, Mason pointed at the map. There, he said. The last call from Haley's phone pinged a tower near the riverfront, close to the old docks and the freight warehouses. That matches what Nate told us. Logan's heart kicked harder. Then that's where we're going. Cole nodded slowly. I know those docks. I used to sign papers there. Deliveries, shipments, everything. There are places under the main platforms. Hidden storage rooms. If I wanted to stash someone off the grid, that's where I'd do it. Rafa shook his head. Of course it's the docks. Where else would these guys hide? Logan straightened. We go there next. But this time, we don't just race. We plan. He looked at Cole. And you're going to tell us everything about those docks. Every hidden corner. Every tunnel. Every room where they might be keeping her. Cole held his gaze for a long second, then nodded once. Fine, he said quietly. I'll show you the world I spent years trying to forget. As Mason zoomed the map out, red dots appeared around the riverfront, marking old warehouses linked to the syndicate through Haley's notes and Nate's information. The screen looked like a war map. Logan studied it, eyes narrowing. Somewhere among those buildings, Haley was still alive. But she wasn't just a victim now. She was the key to exposing everything Damon Cross had built, and the racers were about to drive straight into the center of it. The chapter closes here, with the image of the map glowing in the dark garage, every red dot a possible trap, and their only road to Haley. The map on the screen glowed red across the riverfront, each dot pulsing like a warning. The racers stood around it in silence, absorbing the truth they had never imagined facing. Cole's past, his biggest mistake, was now the chain around Haley's neck. Logan leaned forward, bracing both hands on the table. We need everything. No more secrets. Cole hesitated. His eyes flicked from Logan to the map and then to the faces of the people who trusted him with their lives. He looked smaller than he had ever looked in the garage. "I'll tell you," he said finally. "But you're not going to like the story." Rafa crossed his arms. "We don't need to like it, we just need to know the truth." Cole exhaled, long and heavy. 15 years ago, when I was trying to build something for myself, I signed contracts with Damon Cross. He financed my import company. I thought it was small stuff. Parts, engines, used cars, but he was using my shipments to smuggle things in and out of the city. Weapons, drugs, people. The word, people, hit the room like a punch. Tasha took a step back, stunned. "You were involved in that?" "No," Cole said quickly. "Not knowingly. But ignorance doesn't make me innocent." Logan didn't look away. "What happened?" "I found out," Cole continued, "and I threatened to shut everything down. Damon told me if I did that, he'd make every racer in the city suffer. He'd destroy everything I loved. I panicked. I tried to back out quietly, but Damon doesn't forget debts." Rafa frowned. "So you walked away?" "I ran," Cole said. "I dissolved the company, started the garage, put all my energy into creating the Racers Club. I wanted to build something real, something honest." "And Damon just let you go?" Logan asked, skeptical. Cole shook his head. "No, he waited. He stopped calling, stopped pressuring me. I thought he had moved on, but he didn't. He just chose another target." Logan understood instantly. "Haley?" Cole's voice broke. "She never knew. I kept her far from this world. But she grew up seeing me fight to help people. She started volunteering, helping kids disappear from the syndicate's radar. And when she heard whispers about missing teens, she followed the trail straight to the warehouses I used to use." Rafa muttered a curse under his breath. "She walked right back into the shadow you escaped from." Cole lowered his head. "And now she's paying for my mistakes." Logan's voice became firm. "No, Damon took her because she was a threat, not because of you. She was close to exposing him. That's why he panicked." Mason's screen buzzed, breaking the tension. "Guys, I think you need to see this." Everyone turned. Mason tapped a video file recovered from Haley's notebook folder. The screen filled with shaky phone footage, Haley recording herself in a small room at the youth center. Her voice was steady but urgent. "If you're watching this, something went wrong. I've been tracking disappearances across the docks. Kids from shelters. Teenagers with no one to look for them. I found links to Damon Cross and the syndicate. They're using warehouses to move people out of the city. I think someone inside the racers might be connected." Cole flinched. "I don't know who to trust," Haley continued. "So I'm taking everything to Detective Ward. If anything happens to me, tell my dad I'm sorry." The video ended. The silence afterward felt colder than the night outside. Cole staggered back a step, pressing a hand to his forehead. "She thought she had to apologize to me for doing the right thing." Logan closed his eyes briefly, gathering himself. When he opened them, they were sharp again. "We don't have time to drown in guilt. She left us clues for a reason. We follow them." Mason pointed at the map again. "Based on the call logs and Nate's info, there are 3 warehouses most likely connected to Haley. One near the abandoned freight yard, one under the east docks, and one across the river behind the shipping containers." Tasha added, "If they're moving people in and out, they'll use a place near the water, fast exits." Cole nodded. "Under the docks, there are hidden rooms there. Storage areas built into the concrete supports." Logan grabbed his jacket. "Then that's our next stop." But before they left, Nate's voice echoed from the storage room where he was tied. "Wait, you're missing something." They stopped. Logan walked over and opened the door a crack. Nate was still bound to the chair, sweating, eyes wide with panic. "You think they're keeping her at the docks?" Nate said. "Damon doesn't do that when he wants leverage. He uses the docks when he wants someone gone." Cole lunged forward. "What are you saying?" Nate gulped. If he took her alive, he's storing her somewhere central. Somewhere he can watch closely. Somewhere he controls completely. Then why did the call ping near the river? Logan asked. Because they moved her phone, Nate said. They do that sometimes, to throw people off. Cole's voice dropped to a dangerous low. Where is she then, Nate? Nate trembled. There's a place above the old freight tunnels. Damon calls it the cage. It's where they hold people who ask too many questions. If she's there, they'll move her before sunrise. Logan stepped closer. Where is it exactly? Nate closed his eyes. A warehouse with a blue gate, north side of the river. It looks abandoned, but there's a steel door inside. You need a key card, or you break the wall next to it. That's where they keep the ones who aren't supposed to be found. Rafa cursed again. That matches what the woman from earlier said. A blue gate. Cole grabbed Logan's arm. We're going now. Logan nodded. We take 2 cars, quiet in, fast out. On the road, the city blurred past them. Flashes of neon, empty streets, flickering lamps. Logan drove with purpose, eyes never leaving the dark stretch ahead. Tasha's voice came through the radio. We're 3 minutes out. Copy, Logan said. Cole sat rigid beside him. He looked like he was fighting every instinct to scream, punch something, or break down. Logan spoke quietly. We're going to bring her home. Cole swallowed hard. She's just a kid, Logan. She didn't deserve this. No one does, Logan replied. But she's stronger than you think. Lights from the river flashed between the warehouse gaps as they approached the north side. A long, deserted stretch of road led to a massive building with chipped paint and rusted beams. The blue gate stood out even in the dim light. There, Tasha said. That's the one. They parked 2 blocks away and approached on foot. Wind from the river whipped through their jackets. Rafa checked the perimeter. No guards outside, either a trap or they think no one will come. Cole tried the gate. Locked, of course. Logan crouched and examined the metal. We go through the side. They found a smaller entrance half hidden by stacks of crates. Logan nudged the door open. It creaked loudly. Inside, the warehouse smelled of dust, cold metal, and something stale, something human. Flashlights swept across the floor. Empty pallets, broken tools, a long staircase leading down. Logan's pulse quickened. This is it. They descended quietly. At the bottom of the stairs, a reinforced steel door blocked their way, just like Nate said. Rafa ran his hand along the concrete wall. He said we could break through here. Logan nodded. Stand back. They worked in coordinated silence. Hammer, crowbar, pressure. The concrete cracked after the 3rd attempt, then broke enough for Logan to pull out a segment. Behind it was another small passageway, and another door. But this one was slightly open. Cole pushed past Logan and threw it wide. Inside was a narrow hall lined with small rooms, each one secured with metal bars. Logan's heart pounded. Haley! He shouted. His voice echoed. Cole ran down the hall, checking each room with trembling hands. Most were empty. One held blankets, another held water containers. Rafa reached the final door and froze. Logan. Here. Logan rushed over. Inside the small cell, a chair lay tipped over. The ropes were still tied to it and cut in the middle. Tasha found a broken bracelet on the floor. Haley's. Cole grabbed the bars. She was here. She was right here. Logan's flashlight hit something on the wall, handwriting scratched in haste. A single word. Run. Cole staggered back. Oh God. Oh God. Rafa looked around. Where is she now? Did they move her? Did she escape? Logan stepped into the room and scanned the corners. Then his flashlight hit something else. A small device. A tracker. Still blinking red. His blood ran cold. They knew we were coming. Before anyone could react, a low hum echoed through the hall. Lights flickered. Then the whole warehouse shook as something massive exploded outside, shaking dust from the ceiling and extinguishing the lights. The racers were thrown back by the shockwave. Alarms blared, and Logan realized they weren't alone anymore. The explosion threw dust from the ceiling like rain. Logan hit the floor hard, rolling to shield his head as concrete fragments cracked around him. Cole covered his face with his arms. Rafa pushed Tasha against the wall to protect her as the shockwave pulsed through the narrow hallway. The alarms wailed, a deep mechanical scream vibrating through the steel frames. Logan forced himself upright. "Everyone okay?" Rafa coughed, waving dust away. "Still breathing." Cole staggered to his feet, eyes frantic. "Where is she? Where the hell is my daughter?" Before Logan could answer, a distant metal clang echoed from deeper in the tunnels. Heavy steps, multiple sets, coming fast. Tasha grabbed her flashlight. "We need to move. They're coming." Logan peeked through the broken door they had forced open earlier. A haze of smoke drifted through the air. The explosion had come from outside, near the western corner of the warehouse. "They're sealing us in," Logan said. "We have to get out before they trap us underground." Cole clenched his fists. "Trap me? Over my dead body?" Rafa tightened his grip on a metal pipe he had picked up earlier. "Then let's give them hell." Logan grabbed Cole's shoulder. "No, we get out alive. Haley needs us." That sentence grounded Cole. He nodded once, eyes hardening with purpose. They moved back toward the staircase. Halfway up, the sound of footsteps grew closer. Two voices arguing. "Is the device set?" "Yeah, boss said to blow the back entrance first, then sweep the tunnel. They can't be far." Logan signaled the racers to hug the walls. When the two syndicate men appeared at the top of the stairs, Logan lunged first, disarming one with a swift hit to the wrist. Rafa slammed the second man against the rail, knocking the wind out of him. Cole pinned the first man to the ground. "Where is my daughter?" The man spat blood, sneering. "You're too late." Logan knelt beside him. "Wrong answer." Tasha came up behind them, reading a tablet she had pulled from the man's pocket. "Guys, this is synced to another device. A tracker." Cole grabbed the man's shirt. "Where is she?" The man wheezed through fear. They moved her. After the call pinged. Damon said to take her to the boatyard." Logan's stomach dropped. "The river." Rafa's eyes widened. "They're moving her out of the city." Cole stood, face white with rage. "We need to go. Now." Logan grabbed the second man's radio before leaving. "This'll help us know if they're coming." Back outside, smoke drifted through the night air. A corner of the warehouse was burning, flames licking up wooden beams. Someone wanted to erase evidence, and erase the racers with it. They sprinted toward the car's engines still warm. As the group piled in, Logan took the wheel again. Cole rode shotgun, gripping the dashboard like it was the only thing keeping him upright. Tasha spoke through the radio in the second car. "The boatyard is 10 minutes from here at max speed, but with the police responding to the explosion, we'll need alternate routes." "Take the tunnels," Logan said. "The old shipping lane under the bridge." Rafa whooped through the radio. "That's tight driving." "We're racers," Logan replied. "We make it work." The convoy sped off. The old tunnels were narrow, uneven, and poorly lit. Never meant for civilian traffic. But Logan navigated them with precision, weaving through debris and rusted beams. The engine growled as the streets blurred overhead. Cole finally broke the silence. "She said she was sorry. In that video. She thought she let me down." Logan kept his eyes forward. "She thought she was protecting you." Cole swallowed hard. "I should have told her the truth years ago." "Regret won't save her," Logan said. "We will." Cole didn't respond. But the way he stared out the windshield said everything. The tunnel opened onto a street skirting the river. They raced past abandoned boats, piles of scrap metal, and flickering lamps that barely lit the asphalt. Then they saw it. The boatyard, fenced off, dark. Except for one area, the far dock. Bright floodlights were on, and a large shipping boat sat half-loaded, engines humming slowly, smoke drifting from its diesel exhaust. They were moving her. "Logan." Tasha's voice broke. "We're almost out of time." Logan pressed the accelerator. "Then hold tight." They killed the lights before pulling up behind the boatyard's fence. Logan scanned the area quickly. 4 guards outside, more likely inside. Syndicate trucks lined up near the docking ramp. Cole whispered, "We go in quiet." Rafa shook his head. "Not possible." Logan agreed. "They've already heard the explosion. They're alert. Quiet won't cut it." Tasha pointed. "Back door near the generator. If we hit the power, we plunge half the yard into darkness." Cole cracked his knuckles. "Let's make them blind." Mason spoke over the radio from the second car. "I can overload the generator remotely. Just give me 30 seconds. "Do it." The racers positioned themselves around the fence. Logan counted silently. 30. 29. Lights flickered. 21. 17. The engine hum grew louder as the boat prepared for departure. 10. 8. The floodlights dimmed. 5. 3. The entire yard went pitch black. "Now!" Logan shouted. They stormed in. Chaos erupted instantly. Guards shouted, scrambling to activate flashlights. Logan tackled the first one, knocking him out cold. Cole grabbed a second by the collar, slamming him against a crate. Rafa sprinted toward the boat ramp, dodging gunfire as syndicate men fired blindly into the dark. He slammed the ramp controls, halting its movement. Tasha and Mason freed 2 teenagers who were tied near a container. "Go. Run to the street and wait for police." Logan felt pride swell. Even now, they helped whoever they could. "Logan!" Cole yelled from across the yard. "Over here!" Logan spun toward the voice. At the far end of the dock, a figure was being pushed toward the boat by 2 armed men. A woman, dark hair, bound hands. Haley. Cole roared, sprinting toward her. But then, a third figure stepped from the shadows. Damon Cross, tall, calm, holding a gun loosely at his side like a man who believed he couldn't lose. He pressed the gun to Haley's back. "Not another step," Damon said, voice dripping confidence. Cole froze mid-run. Logan slowed, raising his hand slightly. Damon smiled. "So the racers still think they can challenge me. Cute." Haley lifted her head. Her eyes found Cole's. Fear mixed with something else. Relief. "Dad?" Cole broke. "Let her go," he growled. Damon chuckled. "You don't give orders here, Hunter. You never did. You ran from me, remember?" Logan stepped forward slowly. "You want leverage? You have it. Let her go and take me." Damon laughed. "A noble offer. But she's worth more." He grabbed Haley by the arm and signaled his men. "Load her." The men pulled Haley toward the boat. She stumbled but stayed upright, her eyes never leaving her father. "No!" Cole shouted. Logan grabbed Cole's arm before he charged. "Not yet, we need an angle." "But they're taking her." "I know," Logan whispered. "Trust me." But Damon had heard them. "You'll never see her again," Damon said. "Old debts are due." Cole's face twisted. "If you hurt her." "Oh, she's not for hurting," Damon said casually. "Just moving." Logan's jaw clenched. "Why? What does she know?" Damon smirked. "Enough to bury me. Enough to bury you." Before Logan could respond, gunfire erupted from the far side of the yard, Rafa drawing syndicate fire to distract them. Damon dragged Haley backward. Logan lunged. Cole plunged forward. Syndicate guards fired in all directions. Haley screamed, and Damon pulled her onto the boat. "Raise the ramp!" Damon shouted. Logan sprinted toward the dock, lungs burning. Cole was right behind him, roaring her name. But the ramp rose. The engines roared. The boat pulled away from the dock. Logan skidded to the edge, breath ragged, watching helplessly as Haley disappeared into the darkness on Damon Cross's ship. Cole fell to his knees, shaking, and Damon's final words echoed across the water. "You want her back? Come and take her." The boat drifted into the river fog. And Logan realized something horrifying. They weren't fighting a gang anymore. They were fighting time. The boat's engine roar faded into the river fog, but the weight it left behind crushed the dock. Cole stayed on his knees, fists pressing into the cold wood. His chest heaved with each breath. He could still hear Haley calling him, still see her being pulled away. Logan stood at the edge, eyes locked on the disappearing lights of the ship. His own lungs burned, but he didn't let his body show weakness. Not now. Rafa jogged up beside them, panting. "We tried, man. We were seconds too late." Cole slammed his fist against the dock. "Seconds are the difference between seeing my daughter again and burying her." Logan turned away from the water, forcing his mind to focus. "We're not done." Cole looked at him, face twisted. "He has her on a moving boat, Logan. What else can we do? Swim after him?" Logan's jaw tightened. "We do what we've always done. We race." Tasha and Mason caught up, breathing hard. Behind them, 2 teens they had freed earlier sat on the ground, wrapped in makeshift blankets made from old tarps. Sirens echoed faintly in the distance. Police would be there soon. Tasha wiped sweat and dust from her face. "Logan, we're almost out of fuel and out of time." Mason stared at his tablet. But not out of options. Everyone turned to him. He pulled up a map of the river on the screen. "Look, that boat doesn't have many places to go if it wants to leave the city without passing a main checkpoint." He zoomed in on the screen, tracing a line with his finger. "If Damon wants to avoid patrol boats and Coast Guard, he'll go through the North Industrial Channel. It's narrow and quiet. No tourists, no cameras, only cargo." Rafa frowned. "So how does that help us?" "Because this channel crosses under the old river bridge," Mason said. "The same bridge where the freight road runs. If we drive there and get ahead of him, we'll have a clear line of sight over the water." Cole squinted. "We can't stop a boat from a bridge." "Maybe not," Logan said. "But we can slow it down, force it closer to shore, or mark it for the police." Tasha pulled out her phone. "We still have Detective Elena. She's been working with Haley. If we give her Damon's route and proof, she'll move everything she has." Logan nodded. "Call her." While Tasha stepped aside to dial, Logan moved to the teens they had rescued. One of them, a boy of maybe 16, looked up at him with wide eyes. Are you guys criminals?" the boy asked. "Like Damon?" Logan shook his head. "No, we're racers." "What's the difference?" the boy challenged, voice trembling. "We run toward danger to pull people out," Logan said quietly. "Not to push them in." The boy stared at him for a second, then nodded slowly. "Then go get her." Logan stood. "We will." Tasha returned, eyes focused. "Elena's already on her way to the river checkpoints. She says if we can keep Damon in the channel and send her our coordinates, she'll bring patrol boats and backup." "Finally," Rafa muttered. "Cops we can actually work with." Cole pushed himself up. He still shook, but his eyes were clear again. "Tell her this ends tonight." Logan turned to the others. "We split. Mason and Tasha, you stay, give statements, make sure those kids get into safe hands. Rafa, Cole, you're with me. We're going to the bridge." Rafa grinned, despite the tension. About time we had a real race. Cole exhaled hard. "If we don't make it." "We will," Logan cut in. "Get in the car." The streets blurred as they pushed their engines to the limit. The night turned into streaks of light and shadow. Logan drove, feeling every vibration in the steering wheel, every twitch in the tires as if the car were an extension of his body. Rafa followed on his bike, weaving between lanes, staying tight behind. Cole watched the navigation app Mason had synced to the dashboard. A red dot marked the ship's predicted course. "She's moving faster now," Cole said. "Damon knows we're not giving up." "Good," Logan said. "Let him know we're coming." They cut through side streets and industrial back roads, avoiding main traffic. The city thinned out, giving way to empty lots, storage yards, and the looming structure of the old river bridge. Rafa's voice crackled over the radio. "We're almost at the crossing. Channel should be under us in 2 minutes." Logan saw the bridge rising ahead, dark against the sky. He pressed the accelerator. They shot up the ramp, the engine roaring as they climbed. At the top, Logan killed the headlights and slowed, parking close to the guardrail. Rafa stopped beside them, engine idling low. Below, the river glimmered faintly. The fog was thinner here, closer to the city lights. Logan scanned the water. "He has to pass under this span," Mason's voice said through the speaker from the garage. "There's no other channel deep enough for a boat that size without hitting sensors." Cole gripped the rail so tight his fingers went white. "Come on. Come on." Then Logan saw it. "Right there," he said. "Port side, 10 o'clock. A dark shape cut through the water, low and sleek. A few running lights glowed faint red and white, barely visible, but enough. "It's him," Cole whispered. Rafa leaned over the edge. "What's the plan? We going to jump?" "Not you," Logan said. "Me." Cole spun. "That's insane." "Damon won't expect anyone on the bridge," Logan said. "If I can get onto the ship, I can get to Haley before they move her again." "And if you miss?" Rafa asked. Logan's voice stayed calm. "Then you finish what I started. Send Damon to prison, or carry him to the ground, and you take Haley home." Cole shook his head. "No. We do this together. I'm not staying on the sidelines while you risk everything for my daughter." Logan looked at him. "You're not on the sidelines. You'll coordinate with Elena. You know Damon. You know how he thinks. I need you clear-headed, not hanging off the side of a ship." Rafa looked at the water again and laughed softly. "You're really going to jump onto a moving boat?" Logan cracked a short, humorless smile. "We've done worse jumps on closed tracks." Mason's voice came through again. "I just alerted Elena. She's heading to intercept at the end of the channel. If you can slow that ship down or force it off course, she'll be there." "Copy," Logan said. He turned to Cole and Rafa. "Here's how it goes. When the boat gets close, I jump. You trail it from the next bridge down, feeding Elena live updates. Keep your phones on. I'll signal when I have Haley." Cole stared at him, torn between rage, fear, and trust. Finally, he grabbed Logan by the back of the neck and pulled him in close. "You bring her back," Cole said, voice low and raw. "You hear me? You bring my daughter home." Logan held his gaze. "I will." They separated. The hum of the approaching ship grew louder. Logan climbed onto the rail, balancing carefully. The drop looked farther from up here. The cold air rolled off the water like a wall. Rafa shook his head. "If you die, I'm telling everyone you tripped." Logan huffed a breath that almost became a laugh. "Shut up." The ship slid closer, cutting through the current. The deck came into view. Guards moved slowly, watching the banks but not the bridge. "Now," Mason said through the speaker. Logan didn't hesitate. He jumped. The wind tore at him. For a moment there was nothing but darkness and the sound of the river rushing up to meet him. Then he hit the deck with a bone-jarring thud, rolling to absorb the impact. Pain shot through his shoulder, but he forced himself up, teeth gritted. No one had seen him yet. He ducked behind a stack of crates, breathing shallowly. The ship's engine throbbed beneath his feet. Voices rang out from the other side of the deck. "Check the bow. Damon wants her locked down until we clear the channel. Haley." Logan moved silently along the crates, staying low. He reached the side railing and risked a glance back. The bridge was already behind them. Two headlights tracked along the river road beside the water, Cole and Rafa. Logan felt a surge of strength. He moved. Inside the ship, the air was colder. Logan slipped through a side door and into a narrow corridor. The metal walls vibrated with the engine's pulse. Dim emergency lights lined the ceiling. He heard a muffled cry. "Haley." Logan followed the sound, turning down a short hall until he reached a locked door. Voices murmured on the other side. "I don't like this. Moving her now is risky." Damon gave the order. "You want to argue with him?" "She almost escaped once. I'm not babysitting again." Logan scanned the frame. The lock was old, bolted from the outside. He looked around quickly, found a heavy wrench on a nearby shelf and took it. One hit. The metal bent. The voices stopped. "What was that?" Logan hit the lock again. The door flew open. Two guards stared at him, stunned. Haley sat in the corner, hands bound, eyes wide. Logan moved before they could. He slammed the wrench into the first guard's arm, sending his gun skidding across the floor. He drove his shoulder into the second, forcing him back against the wall. The first guard swung at him, but Logan ducked and drove his fist into the man's ribs. The second guard grabbed his neck from behind. Logan twisted, ramming the back of his head into the man's face. Blood sprayed. Both men fell. Logan kicked their weapons away and turned to Haley. She was shaking, but those eyes were the same fierce eyes from the garage. "Logan," she whispered. He dropped to one knee and started working at her bindings. "You okay?" She nodded weakly. "I am now." The ropes fell away. She winced as she tried to stand. Her legs had been tied too long. "Can you walk?" he asked. "I can run," she said. A smile flickered across his face for a second. "That's my girl." They moved into the corridor. An alarm blared suddenly. A voice boomed through the ship's intercom. "Damon." "We have rats on board," he said calmly. "Seal the lower deck. Shoot on sight." Haley grabbed Logan's sleeve. "He'll blow the ship if he can't use me as leverage. Then we don't give him the chance." Logan pulled out his phone as they ran, fingers flying across the screen. He sent one message to Cole. "Got her. Heading to deck. Meet Elena at channel exit. Don't let Damon vanish." Haley stumbled once, but Logan steadied her. "Where are we?" she asked. "In the channel," he said. "Your dad and the racers are tracking us from the road. Detective Ward is waiting at the end." "You brought the police into this?" Haley asked, surprised. "You brought her first," Logan replied. "We're just catching up." Shouts erupted ahead. Logan pulled Haley behind a crate as bullets tore through the corridor. "Stay low," he ordered. Two syndicate goons advanced, firing. Logan waited for a pause in their shots, then charged, slamming one into the bulkhead. The other swung his gun like a club. Logan blocked it and kicked his leg out, dropping him. Haley picked up the fallen gun but didn't fire. She aimed anyway, hands steady. "Move," she said. Logan finished the fight and guided her up a metal staircase. When they burst onto the upper deck, the cold air hit them hard. The city lights were distant now. The channel walls loomed on either side like jagged shadows. And at the bow of the ship stood Damon Cross, waiting. He pointed a gun directly at Logan and Haley. "Touching," Damon said. "Really, the loyalty, the effort, the stupid hope." Logan pulled Haley slightly behind him. "It's over, Damon. We've got your operations recorded, your warehouses burned into police servers, your guys are talking, you're done." Damon smiled. "You think I didn't plan for this? You think I don't have half the city under my thumb?" He stepped closer. "Your president helped me build this little empire. Did he tell you that, Haley? Did Daddy tell you how many shipments he signed off on?" Haley's jaw clenched. "He told me enough, and I saw the rest myself." Damon's eyes glimmered. "Of course you did. That's why you had to go. You were becoming a problem." He tightened his grip on the gun. "Now, step aside, Logan. I might still find a use for her." Logan's voice went flat. "The only place you're going is a cell." Damon chuckled. "Then who's going to stop me?" A new voice cut through the wind. "I will." Logan and Damon both turned. At the river's edge, just ahead, flashing blue and red lights cut across the water. Police boats blocked the narrow exit of the channel. On the river road above, patrol cars lined the edge. And at the very front of one of the boats stood Detective Elena Ward, a loudspeaker in hand. "Damon Cross," her voice boomed. "Cut the engine and surrender now. Your ship is surrounded. This is over." Damon's eyes flashed with anger. He shouted toward the wheelhouse. "Full speed, ram through." The engine roared louder. The ship surged forward. But Logan saw something Damon didn't. Cole's car and Rafa's bike. They raced along the river road, parallel to the ship. At the last second, they swerved in front of the barricade of patrol cars, forcing the driver of the lead police boat to adjust. Elena's boat shifted to block the only open gap. If the ship pushed through now, it would crack its hull against concrete and steel. Damon realized it. He snapped the gun back to Haley. Fine, Damon snarled. If I go down, she goes first. He never finished. A loud crack split the air, but it didn't come from Damon's gun. It came from the bridge above. Cole. He stood at the rail, breath shaking, holding a rifle one of the officers had handed him. His arms trembled, but his aim did not. Damon staggered, the gun flying from his hand as the bullet tore through his shoulder. He screamed, falling to one knee. Logan rushed forward, kicking the gun away. He grabbed Damon by the collar and forced him flat on the deck. Haley breathed hard, staring at her father on the bridge, then at Logan beside her. "You're done," Logan said in Damon's ear. "The racers don't owe you anything anymore." Police boats rammed grappling hooks into the ship's side. Officers swarmed on board, weapons drawn. Elena reached them first. "Hands where I can see them," she shouted. Logan raised his hands, then pointed down at Damon. "This is your guy. The rest are below deck." Damon laughed weakly through the pain. "You think locking me up changes anything? Someone will take my place." Elena looked down at him with disgust. "Maybe, but it won't be you." She signaled two officers. They cuffed Damon and dragged him away. The ship's engines slowed to a stop. The world finally quieted. Haley turned to Logan. He was still breathing hard, still dirty, bruised, and tense, but he was smiling. "You okay?" he asked. She nodded slowly, tears finally spilling down her cheeks. "I am now." She stepped forward and hugged him. He held her carefully, as if afraid she might disappear if he let go. On the river road, Cole ran down the embankment, ignoring the shouts of officers trying to keep order. He stumbled onto the deck, eyes searching. When he saw Haley, he froze. "Dad," she whispered. He walked the last few steps like a man walking out of a nightmare. Then he pulled her into his arms. "I'm so sorry," he said, voice broken. "For everything I hid, for everything I didn't tell you, for making you feel like you had to fix my mistakes alone." Haley held him tighter. "You're my dad. I never wanted perfect. I just wanted the truth." He nodded against her hair. "You have it now, all of it." She pulled back slightly, eyes red but steady. "Then let's do something with it. Let's help people who don't have a racers club watching their back." Cole looked at Logan, then at Elena, then at the boats around them, full of rescued victims. He nodded. "We will," he said. "From now on, that's who we are." A few days later, the garage looked different. Same smell of oil and gasoline. Same concrete floor stained with years of work. Same humming lights. But the energy had shifted. On one wall, Elena had pinned up a new board. Photos, maps, notes. The Racers Club wasn't just about track routes now. It was about safe houses, youth centers, rescue operations. They were working with her to dismantle the syndicate's leftovers. Rafa adjusted a car on the lift. "Never thought I'd see the day we'd be working with the cops." Elena smirked. "You're not working for us? You're working with us. Big difference." Tasha sat at the computer, managing files and digital evidence instead of only traffic cam tricks. Mason handled encrypted logs, acting as the quiet brain behind the scenes. Haley walked through the garage, stopping at each station. Her cuts had faded. The bruises around her wrists had become thin lines, but her eyes were sharper than ever. She reached Logan's car. He was under the hood, tuning something small, going through motions that kept his hands busy while his mind processed everything. "You never do anything halfway, do you?" she said. He looked up, a faint smile touching his lips. "Takes one to know one." She hopped onto the front bumper, watching him. "I heard Elena say Damon will be locked away for a long time." "Yeah," Logan said. "The files from your notebook, Nate's testimony, the rescued kids. It's enough to bury him." "And my dad?" Haley asked. "Is he going to be okay?" Logan wiped his hands with a rag. "He'll carry what he did for the rest of his life, but now he's doing something about it. That counts." Haley nodded. He said the same thing. She hesitated, then added, "Thank you, Logan, For not giving up on me. For jumping off a bridge onto a ship, which is still insane, by the way. He shrugged. We've had worse ideas. She laughed softly. Maybe. But this one worked. They held each other's gaze a second too long, an unspoken understanding passing between them. Rafa's voice broke the moment. "Hey," he shouted from across the garage. "We got something." Everyone turned. Rafa pointed toward Tasha's screen. An email notification blinked. Tasha opened it. A youth counselor from another city had written. Kids were disappearing near a different set of docks. The pattern looked familiar. Haley stepped closer, reading over Tasha's shoulder. "It's starting again. Somewhere else." Elena joined them. Different names, different streets, same story. Cole walked out of his office, wiping grease off his hands. "What is it?" Haley turned to him. "Someone needs help." Cole looked at the racers, at his daughter, at Logan. He nodded once. "Then we do what we do best," he said. "We race." Logan closed the hood of his car. He grabbed his keys and tossed one set to Haley. "Come on," he said. "We've got roads to cover." She caught them easily, a spark in her eyes. The engines roared to life, echoing through the garage and out into the open streets. They weren't running from their past anymore. They were driving straight into the future, and somewhere out there, someone who felt alone was about to find out that the Racers Club existed. The story of the night Haley Hunter was taken would be told over and over. Not because of the fear, but because of what the Racers did next.